Welcome everyone, and I'm as happy as Fred is over here to leave the office to bring you the next episode of our wonderful Flintstone Valley. Today we are going to build a custom Flatride as well as a Smilodon habitat. Let's get started. Alright, welcome back to Flintstone Valley and welcome back to Prehistoric Kingdom Early Access. This is my second episode of the brand new Early Access build in Prehistoric Kingdom, and today we are going to build our very first proper habitat. I have started this already last time. You've seen let's say 50% of the habitat already, but today we are building the surroundings and one very specific thing, and that is the Flatride. It's going to be called Fred's Journey, and so the GIF at the beginning of this video is actually not just random, but it has a little bit of a forecast for today's episode, but you have potentially seen that from the thumbnail anyways, and hopefully you are as excited as I am to get there and to enjoy today's episode in terms of finding out what I did and why I did this. Now, let's talk quickly about what I have done over here. So you can see I'm building a little facility. We've got a little shop front here in the beginning, and we are also going to have, just in general, a couple of facilities all around here to, finally get the groove and finally get stuff done. But today also is highlighting again a little emote hunt. So if you guys want to do that again as last time, make sure to get this. The one person who was the fastest last time should definitely check the comments, because I will contact you in the comments to send me an email, and then you're gonna get something very cool. And the same happens for the person who is the fastest this time around again to find the emote. So again, as a little explanation, I'm hiding Rudy emotes throughout the episode, and those who comment as the first person, the timestamps and where exactly you'll find them will get something. So that's kind of a little new Rudy hunt I'm doing, and I've got some new ideas how to enlarge the idea in the future anyway. So that's it. This is what we're going to do, and I hope you guys are looking forward to this. Now, you can see the style. I'm going to explore a couple of new things here with the style. We're going to work a lot more with some shades here and there. We are going to have some minor theming around the area. But as I said, I will explore more variants of this style throughout the episode. So we're not going to stick too much to the one building style, as you can see over here, like with a roundish stone concrete wall, and then with a roof made out of this cobble or like stone. This is, pretty obvious choice at the beginning here, but I will definitely go and try some other things like skeletons, like just in general more wooden builds, using wood and ropes kind of a lot, and try to explore more things that could work together. By the way, here's a little nod to Mr. Fred Flintstone himself, using his jersey pattern to stylize the shades a little bit more. And, all these kind of things will happen throughout this series quite a lot more. So if you guys have ideas what we can use, for example, use the Brachiosaurus. Is it actually a Brachiosaurus that they are owning as like the pet, the mini Brachiosaurus? I forgot, or is it a different one? I forgot which one it is. But yeah, so stuff like that could work for, like, for example, like a little kids playground, and all these kind of things together hopefully make up for a cool thing. But now let's talk about the star of today's episode, the custom Flatride. And the reason why I'm putting that down here is to have the size comparison to the guest over here. I mean, we can scale things down later on anyways, but I like to keep it somewhat in the size that I start with, simply because the textures are stretching. So the scaling is kind of cool to just get little things done, but it really becomes a little bit more complicated the bigger or smaller you have to scale it afterwards, because the texture is just scaling in a way that it stretches out sometimes and stuff like that. If you do scale this from the origin in all directions, then it's kind of okay, because the texture will stretch accordingly. So it's just a little bit less, it depends. If you stretch it out bigger, then the quality is less good. If you make it smaller, the quality gets better, simply in relation to how high resolution the texture is that they used in here. Speaking of which, couple of words about the early access. I'm not going to do a proper review or something, because at this point it's just not fair. It's an early access for a reason, so I won't go in and, you know, give you like a proper review as I would do from a release game or something like that, because again, it's not really fair. However, I want to say that the game feels a lot more stable for me than it did in the alpha, which is a good thing, because it should be. But I think many people have already said that performance still needs a huge improvement, even considering that I have a beast of a computer here. Now, by the way, with the new cooling, water cooling, so thanks to MSI, I have a replacement for the moment, and I have to send in mine now, just as a, you know, kind of exchange thingy, and then kind of put mine in. They are basically the same cooling, just that mine has RGB fans and the other one doesn't, but you know, it's really not that big of a difference anyways to me. Like, it's fine to have RGB, but you know, I'm not having a worse time only because I don't have RGB in my computer. So it's just a good thing that I have a cooling now and I can do this kind of stuff again. But yeah, the performance again, only after this, what I've built over here, has dropped already significantly. While I also saw that they did reduce the quality, especially of the foliage in comparison to the alpha. I think it's kind of a render thing, an LOD thing, to save some performance, and I really hope that they can change this in the future again, because specifically foliage that isn't very close to you but that is in the distance looks kind of shabby. I really think maybe, you know, if they could play like a bit with a depth of field, that could work wonders already. Or change a little bit how Unity handles the anti-aliasing. I really don't know exactly what you could do about this, but I wish they do it, because it just it kind of looks a little bit over sharpened. I think this is the best way to describe it. It doesn't look bad necessarily, but it looks like really over sharpened, and I think that is something they have to put a bit of work in. But yeah, also I'm abusing a little ticket booth over here as like an entrance thingy for the Flatride, just like in Planet Zoo Planet Coaster, where you would have this kind of operator booth right in front of the ride, and a couple of little things like that to make it a bit more realistic, using these log pieces over here to create like a little shade over the station. You know, just some little things to make it look more realistic. But again, this station is by any means finished. It's just for the moment to have, you know, like, it's not a placeholder, but it's a very work in progress version of it, to have it here in the beginning, just to make sure that, you know, we know exactly where the station is, and, you know, put the layout down. And you can see I'm building the layout now a little bit here. I created a little nicer looking roundish piece, as you can see off screen. I just tried a little bit how to do that, and it looks a lot more clean now. I might replace the other turns with this one in the future as well, but for the moment I'm going with what we have. And as you can see, I'm connecting this bridge now with an actual guest bridge. So I think this is kind of cool to utilize the Flatride as like a bridge element, and I'm quite a big fan of how this bridge turned out looking in the end. This is what I said, I'm just trying to utilize this style in a different way, not with stones, but this time around we try a bit more with some logs and stuff. I think the idea about the flintstone style is to use a lot of natural things, try to stay away as much as possible from iron and metal. I guess the metal and iron has to be used as I do it in this example over here. We have to have some steady like beams and guiders for the more heavy stuff, just like the ride. And then also as a security measurement down here, you can see I use the metal as having like a little you know, security barrier to make sure that the Smilodon is not going to escape beneath that bridge. And the rest of the material I use is more natural, like logs and stone and concrete and all that kind of stuff. I think it really makes a lot of sense to do it that way. And here we go now with another viewing opportunity. On this side is going to be like a little bit of a yeah, open end here between the rocks, and this is just kind of a little double security glass, I would call it, to make sure that the Smilodon cannot escape over here. And there are still a lot of things I need to make sure to make it a bit better. The Smilodon theoretically could escape a couple areas pretty easily by just jumping, so we have to put some more fences and stuff in front of it. But for the moment, it is the way it is, and I think I like the way it looks at this point quite a lot, to be honest. They have their own little valley over here, they have their own little riverbank, and I put them a little island in the middle. We're going to change a couple of little things in the real-time part, and then everything else was just about the details. And again, there is still a lot of work to do, but I think you can now really see a bit of a better picture of where this series is going to get to. And obviously the last bit we do is we have to build the actual ride cart, and this is something I am really happy about how that turned out. Like, I'm super happy with how Fred's cart looks at the end, and I don't know, it just has a certain appeal to me. This type of building style, and you know, it's kind of when you're younger, you just accept that it is kind of looking the way it does and it's looking cool. But knowing that some art directors in the mid of the 60s, 70s, or whenever this series has been created, just sat down there and brainstormed some, you know, concepts how stuff like that could look, is just fantastic. And I really appreciate the fact that they potentially had a great time exploring these layouts, and then at some point they just decided for the final layout. And I'm just building that in a computer game about dinosaurs in, I don't know, 50 or 60 years later, which is ridiculous to think about. But I just love how this turned out to be looking in the end. And if we can create some blueprints in the future for the Steam Workshop, which should be there rather soon, this one is going to be there straight away, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy that a lot. But yeah, so this is it, and we are nearly done with the speed build part. I think today's episode is really important to check out also the real-time part, because you can then see a bit better how it's all done. So let's enjoy that one. Alright, so here we are in the real-time part of today's build, and I'm gonna say that is desperately needed, because I think in the speed build you guys potentially haven't seen in detail what I've done, but this is the overall area here. This is the Smilodon viewing, so to say, and I'm especially happy with this viewing terrace. Also, let me just quickly check why the weather and stuff looks... there you go. This is a bit better. It seemed like it changed a bit the colors, but there you go. This is the correct one. You can see I used a couple of hints to the Flintstones, you know, using the pattern of Fred's jersey, and I'm also trying to have certain things. And also, we are actually having our first ride of the park. Obviously, it's fully custom. There's like a little bit of a entrance area here. Things will be changed along the way until this thing is finished, so it's not really the finished version. We need the sign and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so this is it, and this is the Flintstone ride actually, and this will bring you through a couple of those wonderful habitats that we have over here. So this is kind of the generator on in the background here, so that's kind of an electric ride, and the rest will be connected in here. It's going to be starting down here, that little ramp. We're going to do some kind of education boards to the side, and then we go into that first little turn, and you have already a lovely view inside this valley. But then it's going to curl back over here, and then you make like another turn where you have a look back at the entrance area and a wonderful view of this Smilodon rock in the middle. And as soon as we go to the left hand side, you can see you have a wonderful view along the whole habitat, so you can really enjoy the views of the Smilodon all the way down here. Oh, I see there's like a rock in here where you gotta change that. And once we are here, you can see, look at that. I mean, just look at this view. It's so cool to have like the ride here in front of you, and then you can see the Smilodons. I'm quite happy with how that all turned out, because it looks really exactly the way I wanted it. Actually, we can check this with the photo mode. I think the photo mode is a lot more better, but beforehand I'm gonna change this one, because that is not really accurately placed. Rudy, what did you do? There you go, that's now accurately placed. So yeah, the idea is that this area really comes together this way. Also, let me just quickly change the rock sorry, I need to make this now because I know myself too well. I will never do this again, so let's just quickly do it that way. Awesome, and go into the photo mode, because that way we can change the time of day a little bit. So that's good, but we obviously need to change the light angle. There you go, to get that wonderful view in here. And then you've got the, I just like the fact that we have this Flintstone ride over here. We've got Smilodon in front of us, and just in general, I think it looks really cool the way it looks, with the valley in the middle and everything, you know, being really made as if this is like a theme park in that kind of sense. And I think, you know, overall it looks really good, and I'm also quite happy with how it turned out to be looking. I can actually have even more closer with the field of view, and you know, just gonna see it that way. We've got the ride over here. You can see this. I'm also quite a big fan of this view. Look at that, with the ride here in the back, and then the Smilodons going to the water. We can also change the light angle again to have it a bit nicer towards us. There you go. I'm a big fan of all of that. It just really works out. And then we obviously have this bridge that just kind of covers up this last area, because that's like the open river, so to say, here, and that is just a little bit of the end of the river where the Smilodon is living. We're gonna tackle this side in the next episode, once we're doing another habitat that goes more into the mountain area here, and then we're gonna make this side look good. Wanted to focus first of all of this left hand side, but I guess this gives you a good idea of how the valley will work out in the end. So yeah, I really think there is not really that much more to speak about, but also I'm not sure. I'm not feeling this sleeping thingy on top of here, so I'm just going to move that down a little. It just kind of didn't look well. Also, are you floating or are you in the... No, you're in the water. What about this tree though? Can I move this tree? This looks a bit weird. There you go. Bit of cleanup here in the episode. But that's just the way it is. Now, again, I think the star of the show is the Flintstone ride. The idea is kind of nice, I guess. We also have like some viewings like this, you know, from over here. Actually, this view is pretty decent. Let me just quickly check that again with the proper view over here. Look at that. Just move up a little like this. We've got the Smilodon there, and now can we just change the light angle? So look at that. This just gives away a wonderful view of this area like that. And then we have to change the time of day, so maybe we can get even more sun into this area. Look at that. This is fantastic stuff. Really cool. Look at that. Really cool with the Smilodon there in the wonderful area. Just really looks good, doesn't it? I think it just really gives us an idea of how this entire area should feel like. This tree is freaking annoying. But whatever. So yeah, this is the idea. This is the wonderful Flintstone Sabertooth Smilodon area, if you want to call it that way. I want to call it that way right now because I think that's the most fitting name for it right now. But yeah, so this is all my plans for that area. Really came together nicely, I think. It took a lot more time than I expected, but yeah, I'm quite happy with how it turns out. Hope you guys are too. And again, just a little note here at this point, a couple of things I have changed on the channel, so hopefully to the better. You can now, obviously, if you want to support, that's not mandatory at all, but you can use the wonderful feature called, oh god, I forgot the name. No, it's Super Thanks. That's the name of it, where you can just donate once if you like a video and you don't have to subscribe or anything. I think it's a fair thing to do if you do want to support something, but it's not mandatory at all or whatsoever. I just wanted to let you know why this option is now available on the channel. And also, this series will go on. I received so many positive comments from you guys about this series and that you want to see more of it, and I can only assure you that we will. Oh, Nigel, please not do.
More commonly known as the Sabertooth tiger. Smilodon makes for a formidable predator. This large feline...
Stop talking. There you go. Okay, I can make him stop talk that way. Anyways, this is all I wanted to say. God, he just completely crushed my outro. Thank you, Nigel. Now, yeah, this is what I did, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. This series will go on. Planet Zoo will go on, and many other things as well. So yeah, if you are here for some more content, you're definitely gonna get this. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Enjoy your time, have a good weekend, and I'm gonna talk to you in the next one.